IIT Kharagpur, the Hindi newsletter of IIT Kharagpur, with Mr. Harish Hande. Sir, here at IIT Kharagpur, you have come after so many years, after 25 years of the 1990 batch, and you have been coming here from last few years, and you have been coming here to give your ideas to the students, and you have been talking to students from so many years. So when you have come here along with your friends, so how do you feel to come back to Kharagpur?
I think I mean, it's been a great trip because I'm seeing many of the friends after 25, 26 years, and seeing a campus. You go back. You think you feel younger because you still feel that you're 20 and 21 because this place is associated with you as a 17-year-old kid up to 20 years. So you expect all your friends to look like that, but I think that has changed over the years. But yes, overall it's something that we would always remember.
So what do you think are the changes which have occurred in the campus?
I think there's been a lot of changes. One is the physical changes. There's been a lot of construction, buildings. We've only had 6 boys hostel and 1 girls hostel. I guess there are now 16 boys hostels and 4 girls hostels. Plus there's been a dramatic number of buildings inside the Insti campus. And I see also the quality of campus in terms of the Insti, in terms of the educational, I think they are much better, and I think you guys are in a much better position of learning right now.
So apart from the regular education here, what were your involvements in the campus?
I think my regular education was very less. My overall campus involvements were much more. In my first, I don't know whether you still have it. In the second year, I was the outdoor game secretary of Nehru Hall. And then I became a GSEC sports of Nehru, and then Hall P in the final year. But I also then was at the DC, the disciplinary committee of the Insti. And so I played a role from the Insti perspective as a DC, and the rest as mostly the hall activity, yes.
So, sir, what has been the role of IIT Kharagpur in your life apart from the academic perspective?
I think it was much. I mean, I would say academic played a lesser role for me personally in my future life, and also played hockey for Nehru. So that, in terms of hockey and the whole administration as well as the DC, helped me much better in managing people, and which was much critical for me in the future of running Selco for 20 years. It was, I would say it was 65 to 70% what I learned in the halls of residence and of the scholars revenue was 60-65% and 35% in the Insti and the energy department. So I would say to all of you and many of the youngsters who come is that you balance your life between academics and spend less time on the internet in your rooms, and that's what I see in the hostels.
Sir, what made you focus on the concept of rural electrification? On which Selco?
I think the concept of rural electrification, the basics was set up in my third year in energy engineering. We had a course of solar energy and mechanical department, which triggered that I should go into something like solar. But more interestingly, I went to Dominican Republic in 1991 and saw that it was a very similar problem that they had with India, but that we have more than half the population without electricity. Felt that solar was one of the options to actually link electricity to solar and sustainability, and that led me to this concept.
So, do you think something like this can be inculcated in Kharagpur and West Bengal as well?
Yeah, no, we are doing it in Karnataka. Karnataka is much more developed than in terms of electrification than West Bengal. That means the potential in West Bengal is much better. So for states like West Bengal, Orissa, Jharkhand, Northeast, it is an absolute option to have decentralized energy.
Sir, in most of the entrepreneurial journeys, there were times when it was really hard to manage. There must have been times when
sure.
It must have been very hard to manage.
Sure.
So, did your KGP life play any role in that?
No, I was about to say that I guess I faced much tougher issues in the hall. at points, because you're dealing with multiple issues, multiple personalities, people who came in from different cultures and different backgrounds. I think those are things that right from organizing and disputes during the holiday to orientation period. Because unlike, I mean, during our times, the first year stayed with us. So there were 50 first years. So how do you manage during the orientation period, the first year, and when they're getting into, and then the other challenges of budgeting of the whole accounts and quality of mess food, which I completely failed and did not never succeeded. So I think these were challenges that were, I think, some in many cases helped me. And then my experience in the disciplinary court of when you had cheating cases, you had orientation ragging cases, and you had cases that girls did not come back to their hostel before 10 o'clock in the night. Which I guess is not an issue right now. So but then it was an issue at that point of time, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, what are your future goals in your mind for Selco?
I think Selco is that's what one of the goals that I was. Selco is an open source organization. We hope to create processes that other youngsters can replicate. And I was talking to PPC, the director of IIT Kharagpur, and I think one of the goals is to, whatever we have learned in 20 years in terms of the concept of sustainability and poverty and inclusivity that this country needs, how do we put those into the coursework in some of the departments, or an integrated coursework that could actually bring students from different departments to look at solutions of the poor of this country in the nearby radius of 25-30 kilometers, link the students to the local community, so and when they graduate, they have a much better understanding of what this country is, and become solution providers for the world, or in terms of poverty. Yeah, that's the future.
So many entrepreneurs are popping up from IIT.
Yes.
Like they open an app and they do a lot of stuff on internet. And
right.
That what exactly? Whenever we read about you, whenever we hear about you, a word called social entrepreneur comes into picture.
Right.
So would you like to elaborate on that?
See, social entrepreneur. See, I believe that this is very good. Social entrepreneur is actual entrepreneurship. I don't know whether I can call the other ones as anti-social entrepreneurship, but what we believe is that whatever you're trying to do as a business, like in a business like fashion, it has to be socially, financially, and environmentally sustainable. So you are including the society, and you're making business in a way where you're providing value, and you're respecting the social balance, the environmental balance, and the financial balance. And that's what is how we define social entrepreneurship.
Yes, sir. Sir, in one of your interviews that you gave some years ago, you specifically mentioned that it worries you that there are shortage of engineers in other fields, and a lot of engineers are popping up in the software field itself.
Right.
So, regarding that, sir, do you think this can be improved or anything of any sort?
No, I agree. So what I meant was that people are actually not focusing on what their interests are. And even if you have joined a chemical engineering department or a mechanical engineering department out of interest, then you're lured towards getting an immediate job, and say in this age it's IT. You're spoiling your ability of your career in a way that you could have created a much better path for yourself and the world in large. And I would ask the students to focus, don't just get tempted of joining an immediate job in an IT, but remain in what your discipline is. You will definitely excel, and what will happen is other countries actually moving forward in engineering, while India is actually going backwards in engineering, and that's what I would tell them to focus on.
A lot of students here at IIT Kharagpur go to finance or consulting, or even IT.
Right.
After choosing some very core branches like geology and geophysics or something like that.
Right.
So, what would your message be to such people, and even in general to the students of IIT Kharagpur?
I would say that, see, the thing is there's so much of opportunities in the core discipline in the country, and a lot of the problems that are affecting the half the population, half 500 million people, you need your basic skills of mechanical, electrical, or chemical or metallurgy or any of these core science, physics, chemistry, and mathematics, once you're trying to solve those, you have such issues in Africa and Latin America, which the IT or the finance world will not give you those opportunities of cross-country experiences. So stick to what it is. We need it. There's a heavy shortage of those issues.
So any other message or any other thing which you would like to tell the students?
I would tell the students just make sure that you follow your passion. Don't worry about if you're getting a good job in the first year, second year, because statistics say that 80% of the people don't, or whatever the statistics, 60, 70, more than 50%, is that people don't remain in the job, the first job they take within the first year. So make sure that you follow, and I tell you to youngsters who are at your age of 20, 21, you have very less responsibility because you hardly have money and you don't have other social responsibilities. Travel. Take time and travel and see what the country is. Risk that so-called backpacking. See what the issues of other segments of the population are. Then decide what you actually want to do. And that's where you will succeed.
Good talking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.